What is up everyone, Barricade here and bringing you guys something quite different today. It's not going to be a Gears of War related video, but something that I've always wanted to start, a mini series that I've always wanted to create, but never have. But I decided to do this now just for the heck of it. And let me know if you guys like these videos, if you guys want to see more, because I could easily make more videos of this. So essentially what this series is a little bit personal to me, but I feel like it would be really cool to talk about, and it would be really cool to essentially describe it, because while this situation has always kind of scared me, it is something that I always felt very interesting. So what I'm talking about here today is that I have very vivid dreams. I don't know why. Ever since I was younger, I've always had these really crazy, intense dreams that can be really intense and sometimes violent, horrifying, things like that. And I don't know why. I just do. I just have really crazy dreams, whether they're violent or intense or just full out weird, that stick with me. Like, I never really forget them. I might forget them, but they kind of, like, the memories of them come back. It's kind of crazy. So essentially, the very first video today I'm going to talk about is just a random dream that I had about a year ago. And the only really way I can describe it is simply that of a dark figure. So before I can continue, one thing I want to say real quick about my personal life is that I personally live in my own house. I own my own house, and I live alone. But about a little over a year ago, I used to live with my parents. And when I used to live with my parents, essentially I had my room, and then right across the hall was my parents' room. We're really close to one another, the rooms were. And essentially I lived kind of in a small room, had a carpet, had my bed and everything, all my gaming stuff. And essentially there would be times where me and my family, we always get together. We always get together, my brothers and their kids and things like that. I have a bunch of nephews and nieces, I love them all. And one of my brothers has multiple sons. And they used to come over a lot, all the time. We haven't really been around each other too much lately because of the whole situation with the world right now. But, before, we used to always see each other all the time. And in my dream, I had a weird dream where, for some reason, I was watching all his sons. Like, it was like I was babysitting them or something. And I'm in the living room watching them, but I noticed that two of his sons are there, but not the other one. And I was like, wait a second, where'd he go? Like, I kind of got a little concerned. I can hear him crying. And the thing is, in the house I used to live in, we have like this back room that's kind of like a closet, and you just throw everything in there. It's kind of big, a forward closet actually, and we call it the junk room. It's just something that we always just throw. We always used to throw junk in there or whatever. It's just kind of like a back closet in the far end of the house. For some reason, I can hear him crying, and it sounds like he's in the junk room. So I'm like, oh shoot, why is he over there? So I go up to it, and I can see that the junk room's door is closed, and that he's crying in there. So I like, oh, what are you doing in there? His name is George. I call him Georgie. We all call him Georgie. So I'm like, Georgie, what are you doing in there? I open it up, pull him out. He's crying. He's throwing a fit. He's so scared. So I pick him up. I take him back to the living room where his brothers are, and he's crying. He's really freaked out. As soon as I put him down on the ground, I can see a black smoke gliding on the ground, moving really fast. I get scared, and the smoke essentially puts itself together and forms into a figure. The figure is very skinny, looks almost like a skeleton, but it has skin. It's faceless, but it has pure red eyes. It immediately grabs me by the neck and starts choking me. I'm struggling, but as I'm struggling, in a split second, I wake up in my bed. Still in my dream. I'm not really awake. I'm still in my dream. But in my dream, I'm laying in my bed. And I can't move. I'm stuck. I'm struggling, trying to move, trying to speak, trying to do everything I can. And see, this is the part that makes it really scary to me. Because at this point in the dream, I wasn't sure if I was really awake or not. It felt like I was awake. It felt real. It really did. It felt like I was really there, laying on my bed, suffocating. I could not move. I was paralyzed. It felt like this presence was on top of me, choking me, holding me down. I couldn't move. I was freaking out. And after a while, I finally had enough strength to stand up, to get this off of me, and to stand on my own 2 feet. I stood in my room, but as I stood in my room, everything felt different. It was dark, but not a normal dark. It didn't feel like a dark room. It felt like a void. Everything around me was just black. I could see my bed. I could see the light shining off the floor. But that's all I could see. Nothing else. I tried to walk, but as I did, I felt very groggy, very weak. I struggled to stand up. I struggled just to walk. I finally made it to my door and opened it. Across, I can see the hall, directly to my parents' room. I wanted to get to them. I wanted to tell them what was happening to me, ask them what was happening with me. One second I'm with my nephews, and the next I'm in my bed, struggling to move? This doesn't make sense. And as I'm making my way towards their room, it felt much longer than the way it is in real life. From that room to the other, it's a very tiny hall. Only takes about 4 or 5 steps. But in my dream, it felt like a passage. It took me forever to get there. And once I finally did, I start turning the doorknob to try to open the door to see what my parents are doing to ask for their help. But the door won't open. I'm too weak to turn the handle. And out of nowhere, I fall. I can feel myself falling backwards. Everything is dark. And I wake up again in my bed. And once again, I can't move. I'm paralyzed again. And I can feel the presence choking me again. I don't know what to do. I panic. I try to scream. I try to struggle. I try to fight back. But I can't move. Once again, I eventually get it off me. Get up, walk in this dark room, open the door, walk through the long path to my parents' room, and try again. But as soon as I try again, the same thing happens. I fall back. I'm in my bed again. I'm struggling. I can't move. I fight it off again. I get up. I walk to my parents' room. Again and again, this happens over and over, and I can't break out of this cycle. It's non-stop. It felt like it happened for hours, maybe longer. It was ridiculous, and I was completely scared, but I never wanted to give up. I kept trying, and no matter what I could do, I could never make it to my parents' room. Whatever this was kept sucking me right back to my bed, trying again to hurt me, trying its best to hold me there, to never let me go. It was ridiculously persistent. But regardless of how many times this happened, I would never give up. I would just stare back in the abyss, struggling to breathe. And all I could muster were the words, "Fuck you! Let me go!" After so many times of trying to get up and make it to my parents' room to ask for their help, and so many times of it being on repeat over and over, I finally lost it, and I screamed. I screamed so loud in my dream that I woke up screaming in a sweat. And that's how I really woke up in real life. I have no idea why I dreamt this, and I have no idea what this means. But I have to say that this was easily one of the most scary dreams I've ever had. I was paralyzed. I didn't know what to do, and I was afraid. But regardless of how many times it played on repeat, I never gave up. It feels kind of crazy talking about that, honestly. If you guys like this video, please definitely let me know if you guys want to see any more of this. If you guys want to see any more of my crazy dreams, because I have a lot of them. It's kind of something that really scares me, but at the same time I find really interesting. If you guys want to know more, I'm going to give you a quick hint, or I guess you can say a teaser, of the next dream, the next video that I want to talk about. And that is simply the dream I had of me being sent to the future. and everyone I care about being gone. Let me know if you guys want to hear about that one. Thanks for watching, guys.